Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law, where, as always, we learn through the misfortunes of others. I am your host on Civil Law, a licensed attorney in Texas, Virginia, and before the United States Supreme Court. And as always, I hope you're having a great day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law, where, as always, we learn through the misfortunes of others. Number one, I am your host again trying to deal with some of that issue, and a licensed attorney coming back through, so I have to fix that somewhere. And where is that located? Too many tabs. There it is. Great. All right, I figured it out. Fantastic. All right, as I was saying, it's time to introduce our heroes to the cause. It is the wife of juror number one and juror number one together. Yay! How are you guys doing?
Greetings and salutations.
Glad you guys are both here with us, and we're so glad that you were able to spend some time with us. How is life in Florida?
It's freezing here. It's about 64 degrees, so we're trying to keep warm.
For Florida standards, it's freezing.
Well, it's about 53 here right now in Texas, and I went outside. It was definitely a little bit cold, so I'm definitely sympathetic to that. So we, first of all, just want to say thank you very much to both of you. You both have been through a lot, and in my opinion and other people's opinions, more than you should have been through. You know, you're just called for jury duty. It's a civic process, and the idea of what went through in this was a little bit unusual, as we've certainly discussed. And also, just not for nothing, just to sit through a trial that long, that's a lot of time. So we appreciate it.
It was my pleasure, and I do it all again.
Well, that's nice to know that you do.
Yes, cause.
So when you first got your jury summons, did it tell you anything about the case when you first got the summons? Did it come with the initial questionnaire? Did you have any ideas about what the case was about, or did you find only out when you went to court?
I believe I was supposed to go online and do a questionnaire, but I didn't do that. I was going to do that in person there because I figured I wouldn't have made it through the process. I never have before when I've been summoned to these criminal jury trials. So I wasn't going to, complete it and spend my time doing it.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you have a law enforcement background, is that correct?
Correct. That is correct. I'm a retired police sergeant with the City of Hialeah Police Department, and that's in Miami-Dade County here in Florida.
How long did you do that?
Did that for 13 years.
That's a long time. And you do anything now?
No, I stay retired, and I just mosey about helping people around the neighborhood or friends we know in the circus and so forth when they need some helping hands.
He's a circus clown. No.
No. No, I'd like to join the circus, though, but haven't made the leap yet.
Ringling Brothers folded up their tents long ago, so you're going to have to go off-brand, man.
Well, they just opened up, but
Tampa, Florida.
Again, their first show was in Tampa. Was it Christmas time or now in January? But it's nothing like it was before. It's still very good. I haven't gone to see it yet, but everyone that has says it's worth seeing. Yes.
That's cool. Very cool. So I was curious about the trial itself and how you started perceiving evidence. So what was, in a broad sense, during the 9 weeks, do you remember in a broad sense, how your evolution of your perspective shifted as you were weighing the evidence? I assume that there were times when Jay Hatch made good points. I assume there's time when Maya was making good points. So do you remember any notable periods as you were hearing things where you were like really resonant with something?
Being that all this was new to me, never heard of the ketamine, never heard of CPRS or what was going on. Everything was like, wow, real interesting. I was, taking it all in, saying, I never knew that. I know that's neat. But then as time goes on, you start taking, well, so and so said this.
Hmm.
Now I've got someone saying something the same topic but a little different, and that's when, as it progresses, that's when you start doing the actual. Does this person know what they're talking about? Are they staunchly stick to FDA approved therapies? Or what about people that have been doing this for a while and they're having success or not success, but still do it? And you kind of then have to weigh, what's going on here? Because it wasn't, I guess, like a simple, I'll call it simple, where someone assaulted somebody, there was an act, there was a thump on the head and a bump, and people saw it.
Mm-hmm.
This was something that it seemed like most of the people that were testifying were breaking new ground,
Mm-hmm.
or that you don't hear about on it. All my life watching all these, novas and this, I know more about the universe than I did about, ketamine and CPRS and what do you call it, orphan ailments, or, things
Sure.
that aren't well known. So it was about, I think plaintiffs went first. So that was like absorbing like a sponge stage.
How
And
long
then when
approximately did that take with the plaintiff stage?
were they on about a week and a half,
Okay.
I think, and that was kind of like a basis, but then you kind of know as a juror, or at least I did, well, this is one side. So they're, painting a rosy picture, or this, or not a rosy, but they're saying one scenario. So we were always, or I was waiting for, okay, what's the defense have to say? And that's where you take notes. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so said this amount of ketamine and this type of reaction. Because I knew somebody on the defense was going to say something else or confirm that. So that's why, I jot those notes down as quick as I could and then refer to them once the defense came up.
Yeah, I mean that sounds good, and it sort of amazed everyone to some degree that they allowed a police officer to be on a jury, because that's just not something you're used to seeing. They don't typically allow lawyers on juries unless you are where I used to come from, Northern Virginia, where everyone's a lawyer, so you can't avoid it. But that they let a police officer on, and you're juror number one, so you're literally the first one out of the gate. They have all their preemptory challenges in the world, so it was just weird that neither side wanted to strike you, because you would imagine that a police officer is going to be well trained to deal with conflicting information. This witness said this witness said this, here's this piece of evidence, here's this piece of evidence. How am I to make sense of this in some sort of uniform picture? You would imagine a police officer is going to ask lots of critical, in interrogation almost like questions, because they want to get to the truth of it. So Johns Hopkins, with their surprised Pikachu face at all these questions that were coming about, it's like, how you're not predicting that?
Right. Well, half of my questions weren't even asked because they're we've heard how my questions that were asked were. They're kind of to the point. They're not lawyer-like, or I'd be a rotten ambassador to another country, because I often don't say things very pleasantly, diplomatically. So I'd always usually, once I got the hang of, this is the first time I've ever heard of a jury being able to ask questions. So this was great. And once I felt, I got a lot of latitude here. I can ask some wide stuff, and maybe he'll rein it in, or sometimes Judge C, as I called him, honorable, would reword it sometimes to make it more pleasant or more pertinent. But I love the fact to be able to ask questions, because I could hear what they were saying, and with how I knew things go, I knew what they were not saying or trying not to say. So when I'd ask a question, I'd want them to expound, and maybe I'd understand more. And because there's a lot of stuff that's left out that someone like me who has no medical background would like to know. And so, yeah, I was always asking questions, and to the point where I believe I came kind of known for that. And even the judge mentioned that sometimes everyone be finished, but I'd be still writing and scribing things down, waiting to turn the paper in for a question. But it was great being able to ask questions, because I could also find out how believable someone is if they were able to expound on it, or they just repeated the same thing because maybe that's what they were coached on.
Yeah, whether it's I think Elon Musk had a similar comment when he was talking about how he interviews people, because the person who doesn't really know can only really go like one, maybe two levels deep into a question. Like if you like, how did you do X on a project? A person who's not really responsible can't really answer it in any depth. You know, they can basically fake it. But the person who actually did it knows everything, right? They know everything about that project and every sort of nuance about it, because they had to work through all the problems. So he said that basically the same idea. It's like you can tell the people that are BSing from the people who really know, because the people who really know is like, I can tell you everything. I was there, man. I was there when it happened. So I think your instincts are on the right page. Like, are you just fronting, or do you really know a thing? That's pretty cool. So Yolanda, for your part, how was your experience in dealing with hubby over here as he was sitting through this incredibly lengthy trial? Because I had to imagine that would be a different experience for you.
Well, I actually work two jobs, so sometimes I didn't even get home. I mean, I get home. I start work at 7:30, and I get home at 8:30, because I've got two jobs. So sometimes he was already asleep. He was tired, and it was my outlet to. I can watch it at work. We're on TV at work, and I watch the trial and kind of know what was going on.
You mean you as a member of the public were watching the public trial happen in the public?
Yeah, I know.
What an idea. It's almost like it's open to everybody to see. You know, so yeah. And then one time you went there, which apparently was bad for some reason that passes my understanding, but okay. You know, you wanted to actually see the thing, and you're like, well, I'm local. I mean, I know you're local because, you know, although rumor, we're not quite sure. There's been rumor. Do you live with your husband?
We'll plead the fifth on that. No.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We will let them continue to stew to figure out.
She lives with a husband and I live with a wife, but we won't say if it's each other.
There you go.
No.
Fair enough. So I'm also curious, because you had a dinner with at least some of the alternates. Were some of the alternates at the dinner later?
Yeah, probably, I don't know, about a week later or something like that. We had given each other all our text numbers the day we were going to exit court, and knew it was coming to an end. And then they made it like a text group. And pardon me, yeah, they were some of the actual jurors that deliberated were able to make it to Norma Jean's, and we how many? About two or three, and the significant others, and some alternates, but not. We couldn't get all 12 together, or at least all 6.
It was a storm.
But that's right. The storm was coming, something like that. Yeah. But yes, we got together and had a little get together and talk about.
How was the joke, sir?
Was there in general, were there any differences in thoughts or perceptions from the alternate jurors versus the juries who decide the case? I mean, as you compared notes after the fact, was there any difference between your perspectives?
Uh, I don't recall talking too much about the case,
Fair enough.
as in, and I'm not trying to cover anything. We were all kind of like, because we knew from being in the juror room so much, one gentleman was going to go up north to visit his relatives and for Thanksgiving. So we were all kind of catching up. Well, how'd you do? Did you, so it was more like, yeah, I can't remember too much about the case being like, oh my God, or oh this, or how did you? It was more like, oh, so how are you? How are you feeling? Because someone had a bad cold or something, or did you make it up north? And I think someone was still up north. So really, we were all talking just about family stuff, is what went on, type thing. So we wouldn't iron out anything. So really, I don't know what anyone thought too much about the case, because it wasn't a discussion or a major issue. No one stood up and said, "Oh, you numbnuts, you this," or man, we did great. Whoa, raw. It wasn't that type of thing. We had gotten, well, after what, 9 weeks, we kind of knew all about each other's spouses and stuff like that, or what they did, where we grew up, where we came from, and stuff like that, because that's something we could talk about. But,
right, you can't talk about the case, but you can talk about anything else, so that's fine.
Yeah, so that's what we did, finding out where everyone was from, who moved down when, and how long they've been here, and stuff like that.
That's cool. Did any of the alternate jurors express dissatisfaction with not being able to serve on the final jury?
I know I did, and a lot of others that were there, that were on the jury, were apologetic, because we had a feeling that, we can't have 12 people here to deliberate. It just doesn't, it's not right, because you have to have alternates. At least that's what, I was thinking. But so that day when the judge was saying, oh, now I got to do what I've been dreading or not looking forward to, we felt like part of our family was missing, because, we knew what we had for lunch. We, used to bring in snacks and this and that for the others. And, so we had grown close together, because we were shoulder to shoulder for 8 hours a day almost, for the 9 weeks. So I recall most of us that were on deliberation were like, gosh, we missed you, because, and we all would have wanted to know what they were thinking about the case, but obviously you can't talk about it during it. So, but we didn't mention too much. It seemed, it was like a non-issue. We were kind of all glad that it was gone and over, all thinking that, well, we did our part and now we can all get back to our regular lives at that point.
What was after the case was over, and you had gotten your final instructions? I'm curious what your perceptions were at that point of the lawyers for both sides. What were your sentiments about the lawyers at the conclusion of the presentation?
Well, Mr. Anderson and Whitney, plaintiffs, I felt that they kind of knew, or they had a smoothness they presented. It's kind of like they had all their ducks in a row type. They knew where they were going with things, and they seemed to be very pleasant. I mean, people that you want to have a beer with, or standing beside at a barbecue, you'd end up striking a conversation with. is it Hunter and Shapiro? That's the two I know, right? That's
Yep.
They were knowledgeable, but they didn't blend in. Mr. Shapiro seemed to more, but they just seemed a little bit more professional, or not wanting to make mistakes or admit a mistake or something like that. So they were very businesslike, and if I had to do it. Whereas like Mr. Anderson and Whitney, they were, which more smooth operators, but you got to watch out for that. I always remember you got to watch out, because they're just trying to lull you into a sense of complacency, or for lack of a better word, and trying to earn my trust. But I still have to learn what these people up on the witness stand are telling me, and compare it to what I'm hearing from the other side.
So at this point, have either of you seen the documentaries or any other news or stuff about that?
I saw the documentary like that weekend. So it was like about 3 days later or so. We kind of had a weekend marathon of the documentary. And then that's when Yoli showed me, oh, look at this. And I was amazed at the things we didn't know about, type thing. And, because it was kept in and out of, what is it? Something 39, or, there was another case at that time.
Sure.
Or that was happening.
Yeah, there was all that stuff dealing with the dependency court stuff. All that stuff was excluded.
Right. Correct.
And as you may know, at this point, they had won up to appeal. The Johns Hopkins had won up to appeal on that issue, because I believe it was initially, if memory serves correctly, Maya wanted to exclude everything. Or Maya's team wanted to exclude, and Johns Hopkins actually wanted to bring stuff in. So they argued for bringing stuff in, but still, like, a lot of that stuff was excluded, and that was decided at the court before you guys ever got involved in the case. So that whole issue with the dependency, they didn't want that coming in to cloud the issue, which is certainly fair enough. Yolanda, I'm curious about when your husband was finally done with the case and you were allowed to talk about it. How that conversation did go. I imagine, in my mind, I've pictured it as, oh my God, I've got so many things to tell you. I've got so much stuff to tell you. So was that it?
That's very much how it was. And we didn't go to bed till late, because there was so much that I was like, but the biggest thing was they almost kicked you out.
Yeah, I would imagine that would come up relatively early in the conversation. By the way, did you know that you were right on the edge?
That was the biggest one. Oh my gosh, you almost didn't make it. And it was fun to finally be able to talk and tell him all the crazy stuff, and tell him
that was remarkable.
There's a law tube community out there, and oh my gosh, how fun that is. And learning a lot of stuff.
We do aim to try to educate as best we can, and stuff like that. I really like the U.S. Supreme Court stuff because it makes me think the hardest. That's where I love that stuff. But trials are all about facts, right? And appeals are all about law. So it's an interesting dynamic between the two. Anyways, so when you were talking to your husband about your perceptions of the case, Yolanda, did you have any thoughts about how the jury did, or did you have any questions? Let me ask you this question. Did you have any questions for your husband about their thought process, or why they did certain things? I'd be curious to know what questions you might have asked and what he told you about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I did have questions about it. I also know that what the jurors kind of discuss is kind of more confidential.
I don't want to know any. I don't want to know any specifics about what any particular juror said.
But yeah, we discussed quite a bit about how things went in those days when they were deliberating, and just, I don't know, questions.
Fair enough. there was one moment where during, I think it was the punitive damages phase, I believe, where there was a question from the jury about the financials. And then there was a whole like hearing about the thing about what they would do or wouldn't do. They had to rush a transcript overnight at some considerable expense. Of course, you wouldn't know this, but they had to rush a transcript overnight to like figure out exactly what was going on, and had a whole hearing about it in the morning. And then you guys were like, "Never mind, lol." So if you don't mind, mind talking what that was all about, I'm sure someone would like to know.
Well, we're all sitting back in there doing our deliberations, and we're, kicking. Well, we need to find this. So we all were under the impression that all these figures and charts and everything that was discussed by witnesses would be in paper form for us so we could review. Now, we all took notes, and a lot of us, had these notes, but you can't write everything down in a good orderly fashion and then recall from it. So we're digging through 2 library trolleys of papers, folders. I mean, literally binders upon binders. And we're looking for this stuff so that we could refer back to it and, come up with thoughts on the punitive damages and stuff. And we said, well, we can't find it. The computer didn't work at that time either, that was newly installed in the jury room. So we're getting a little flustered. And so I start writing a thing, basically I wanted to ask, where's the judge and lawyers, where are these papers that had all these figures about, in the future, what would be lost earnings, what could be, what, and when we sent that out,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Video, voice went out. Can you hear me?
It cut out for just a second. We're back.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. Oh, hold on.
Wiggle your thing here. Did something go on?
Check 1, 2. You can't hear me?
All right. Can you hear me now? Okay, very good.
We can't hear you. Can you?
Yeah, give me a second.
Everyone hear you? Well, I'll keep talking. Where was I? And when we write that note and go out there, we hear you now.
1, 2. Okay, great.
Okay.
Problem solved. It's problem solved. It's always something over here.
The judge, what he said is, well, they're going to gather all that and have it to us for tomorrow. Okay, so we kind of feel happy. So we retire for the day. Now, when we come in for the next morning, by the way the judge just explained it, they can't give us anything on hard copy or like a transcript of what was said, and we could have read through it. That's a no-no or something, I guess. So he said, well, we have everyone here. We have, our boards. You can ask a specific question, write it, submit it, and then we'll answer it and call you out and give you the answer. Okay, so we go back into the jury room and say, so it's not like we thought it was going to be, where we get papers and we have to keep asking, and we say, oh, that's going to take forever. So, right, no, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And now that I see it, it was, after what happened, it's like knowing that they pulled a late nighter or all nighter for this and called in that lady who did for the plaintiff, the actual rundown of figures and stuff. They're all like, holy cow. It's funny now, but I'm sure they
well, I mean, it's
didn't
not
appreciate it.
It's completely understandable because, we want to like make sure that the jury is only considering the proper information, and the judge wants to make sure about the scope of what you want to hear, because there's all kinds of rules about this, right? So it's like, what exactly are you asking for? Because I want to make sure that I completely understand it. And
Right.
because they put up all this red tape, you're like, oh well, we just won't bother because you're making it seem
Yeah, we
difficult.
all referred to our notes, so we spent
I'm sure you had
time
plenty of notes.
going through there, and everyone had something pertaining to what we needed.
The judge had commented during one of their orders that they had to order additional notepads because you guys burned through so
Right.
many. So they really had that going on. So I suppose let me ask you this question because I think it's fair, and there's what do you think is what witnesses or what evidence do you think from J Hatch's point of view do you think was the best for J Hatch? Let me ask that question. Anything?
I can't remember anything that made me take notice. Sorry to say, it was all just bubble gum. So not, I just compared it and wrote it down, but nothing was aha. I got to pray that I can recall. There may have been, but no.
No, fair enough. I mean, it's a long process. I was just wondering if anything from J Hatch's point of view particularly stuck out to you or resonated with you because, jury is having to consider competing facts and ultimately you wind up wherever you do. And that's certainly fine. But I was just wondering, if there's anything that you thought was particularly noble, but if you don't remember anything, that's fine too. How about for you, Yolanda, was there anything, because you were watching the trial as well, as you mentioned. So was there anything in particular from J Hatch's presentation of evidence or any witnesses for J Hatch that you thought were particularly persuasive or particularly informative for J Hatch?
There were some doctors that I could understand their viewpoints of how they felt, why they felt on certain things. I don't remember their names. There's so many doctors.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sure.
there were some doctors I could understand their viewpoint with what was presented, with what was happening. Everybody, this was a difficult condition and it's something that's not seen. So absolutely, some of them I could understand. Some of these nurses seemed like they cared and they were trying to do the best they could under those circumstances. So like everything else, there's good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It's not, they're not a cartoon mustache twirling villain. So whatever can be said. So I appreciate the answer. Here's a question.
Now, I have something to add to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I was listening to Yoli, there were two nurses that were, I think they called themselves just floor nurses. And one of them is one that ended up like doing some of Maya's laundry. She made me stand up and take notice that, there's good, efficient, caring nurses out there. And I believe there were like two of them that they now that it's brought to front of my mind, that made me feel good about the hospital and the care Maya had gotten. So yeah, there were some, positive contributing witnesses from J Hatch, and I think they were both like floor, or they were. I think they just not regular, because no nurse is regular when you're helping people like that. They were very beneficial in making me realize that, there's good stuff out there. It's not just all, other witnesses that were on board or called by them. So yeah, there were those two, I think it was two, maybe three, but two definite nurses that helped Maya. And that's right, she had her star pamphlet where she had probably about a dozen different starred nurses when they brought that. But I absorbed that and used it during deliberation type thing.
Fair enough. It's just I was just very curious what, because again, it's up to the jury to weigh the competing evidence. So it's not necessarily like you have to find that J. Hatch didn't do anything right to reach the conclusion. So I appreciate your answer. Here's a question. Why hippos?
I'm big and fat, and so that's why she says she's a hippo lover. No, you tell that story.
So there's a very famous hippo in
Show us the tattoo.
Cincinnati.
Show us that tattoo. Get it right up the camera. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's the hippo.
There's the date we got them, and then there's a number 6 here. So I take the 6 and subtract it from 2022, and that's the year we got married, 2016. And the other day in court, it was covered. I couldn't get to it, so I had to think
I have
of
a
it.
little hippo. Same thing.
Okay.
So there's a very famous hippo in Cincinnati called Fiona, and she was a premature hippo. And the Cincinnati hospital nurses and ICU team took care of this hippo for like 3 months, and she's almost human, and she is so sweet, and everybody loves her. She's got 10,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah, Fiona the hippo.
And now she's got a little brother named Fritz, and we went and visited them last year on our anniversary.
Last year on our anniversary, went up and then found a tattoo artist locally and got tattoos for our wedding anniversary of Fiona the hippo.
So that's why. That's our hippo.
And we got hippo T-shirts and
Yeah, we saw the hippo T-shirt. We put it right on the thumbnail. It was glorious.
Okay.
And then we visited different hippos and fed them. Busch Gardens here. We got to feed the hippos.
East Gardens, Florida. Here they have the hippos, and we went behind the
We
scenes
took a tour.
and fed them. We saw the oldest
Hippo is in
Homosassa Springs State Park.
Lou the hippo.
Yes.
He's almost 65.
He was originally there when it was a zoo, and then when the zoo closed, it was bequeathed or something to the state of Florida. So they decided to keep Lou there because that's where he's been living, and that's where he'll live until he passes away, type thing. And eventually we want to go to Africa, South Africa, and watch them because they roam freely through the cities over there in the gas station. And
so I'm going to go to see
I think
the
there's
hippos.
still a couple poking around in Venezuela from Hugo
from
Chavez.
Pablo.
Yeah.
So we want to go there.
Yeah.
You are a handsome looking.
It's a mission.
You are a handsome looking dude, sir, if we can say so. You have some great style. And we need to know where you get that great style look from, because what you wore in court we thought was glorious.
Goodwill of Minnesota. No.
That's the answer. I'll take it, man. Although that suit didn't come from Goodwill, I'm quite sure.
No.
Dillard's was where we got the shirt and the actual suit.
That's right, Dillard's. Here, they call it UTC Mall, University Town Center.
Is there a Dillard's in Texas?
Oh yeah, sure. I know Dillard's well. It's a great place.
They have neat stuff.
They do have some neat stuff for sure. Let's see what else I have. Well, yeah. Do you think that your law enforcement officer, well, because there were 2 nurses on the jury. How many nurses were on the final jury? You remember?
I don't think any.
Yeah.
There was one nurse, and she was an alternate.
Was there anyone else on the jury that deliberated with particular professional expertise that was relevant?
Sure. I think there was a retired nurse. Yes, there was. There was a retired nurse that sat across from me. Correct.
Okay, that's cool. So it's also interesting that they let a nurse on there, retired or otherwise, onto the final jury, because you'd think that she would have particular medical knowledge. So I don't know why they're making those choices, but okay. So it's also nice to know that, by the way, that you weren't dissuaded from jury service by all this, because we've heard a lot of people comment on the streams, and I can't completely blame them in the comments, that they wouldn't serve on a jury because of all this. So it was very validating when you said earlier that you would do it all again.
But he's weird. I went.
No.
I would never do that. Never put anybody through that.
Yeah, but
So you can't go by what he says.
I guess my personality asks for the saying, like when the lieutenant came into the jury room and dismissed everyone and said, "You, juror one, you need to stay behind." And I said that, in trouble again.
But he's always in trouble.
I'm always, not just with the wife, but it's like, I don't know. I just seem to be loud, boisterous, or,
No.
you know, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of making a fool of myself or being laughed at, or, you know, even in the jury, I'll tell jokes and stuff like that, you know, and so, you know,
Nothing really bothers
I'm not
me.
shy.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me, it seems, to always get into trouble.
I don't agree with what happened.
Yeah, in other words, so I was easily picked on, or, you know, and it's up to the defense to try to do anything and everything they can,
But
even
anyway,
though they did go too far and it's not right. They did. Oh, God.
Here
Some of
you
these,
are. Here you are at Oktoberfest, looking very fire, if I might say so myself.
Oh, they.
You got
Is that my real hair coming out of that shirt? No.
I could, it could be. I'm not sure. Now look at this. How can you not love this man? Look at how snazzy this man. Look at this sports coat with these blue pants and the little bow tie with the boutonniere, man. You're a heartthrob. You're a heartthrob.
He's very much a bow tie guy.
Yeah. See, I've always liked bow. Hell, I've been wearing that since my high school years, type thing. Got that. Who was one of the weathermen on Channel 4 back in Miami? He always wore a bow tie to do the weather. Forget what his name, and that's kind of probably where I got it from.
Have you ever dressed up as Guy Fieri for Halloween?
No, but everyone says that he looks like me. That's what.
Yep, damn straight. You got the nice kilt on?
Yeah, that's when I was coming out of the closet. And no, that was what was that there? Medieval Fair.
I love medieval fairs, man. They're great. There's a great one in Texas. Yeah. I went to in Houston, the Texas Renaissance Fair. It was pretty kick-ass. I used to go to the one in Baltimore all the time.
In November, every weekend in November here they have it, and we always sell food at one of the stands.
We like the pizza booth. We know organizers of it, so we're always going there and volunteering and doing stuff. Yeah.
Oh, look at this cute couple. This is so nice, Florida.
Did you see the shirts? I sent that picture because our pictures are on the shirts.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Now that you pointed out, those are in fact your faces on the shirts. You are correct.
Yes. And when we wear them, people are like, "That's you guys on the shirts."
Yeah, came up on what do you call it? An advertisement, and you're supposed to send in like a picture of your puppy or your cat. And I said, you know what? I'm going to send in a picture of us and see if they print it. Sure enough, a couple weeks later, we get them and our picture's on it.
He's goofy like that.
Yeah, I like having fun like that. Life's got to laugh.
You've since met Jack Kowalski, haven't you?
Yes.
Now, it was my feeling that you guys would be fast friends and brethren. So how are you? Are you now besties? Will you also be wearing matched shirts and going for rides on penny farthings throughout the park?
Probably. Pictures, I think they said we knew each other. Reddit said we knew each other from up north or something. So yeah, I think we got our baby pictures together now or something. It's like, no, Jack, Mr. Kowalski, he's a great guy. Yeah. Met him yesterday as well. Yes. So yeah, he's good people.
Penny farthings. I'm telling you, it's the new hit trend. We're going old school, man. So what is happening in this photo?
I'm going to tell them that, dear.
So that is a sugar cane. Paul is steering sugar cane at a old time. They were having like an old time festival of the olden days, and there he is in his suspenders,
Yeah.
and he was mixing the sugar in the sugar cane.
Yeah, out in near Mayaca, Florida, near Mayaca State Park, there's a Crowley Museum and History Center that we volunteer at and take care of the animals there too.
Once a year they do a festival.
They have like an old time festival, and that's where an actual cast iron kettle thing that you'd reduce the sugar cane liquid in and thicken it to make spirits in the old days. So that's me dressed like an old fart in the old days. It was my suspenders and stuff like that.
Oh, look at this photo. There's that pizza booth you were alluding to earlier.
That's our pizza.
Sorry for the public display of affection. But yeah, that was us like last year in our get-ups in front of the pizza booth, and a little Viking looking, and pretzels and stuff like that. Well, we love it. It's fun.
Here's a Halloween picture.
So this was taken. There is Paul's orange hair that the judge mentioned because he hadn't watched it yet. And that was the day of, that's a judge mentioned. And
do you frost
I have the orange hair too there.
Hair was just orange spray. Now what I do is I'm too cheap to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to have the tips just frosted. So I just dye the hair myself totally, and it grows out. So by now I did it like in October.
Yeah.
For Halloween, and then I'll do it probably again in the springtime. And it just grows out like this, and when there's no more, then I'll dye it again. You guys are just I cut my own hair. I dye my own hair.
Are we going for a Johnny Depp thing over here in this pirate regalia?
That was our honeymoon cruise.
Okay.
It was pirate themed, so we were pirates.
So let me make sure I got this straight. You go on a honeymoon, you decide to go on a cruise, and you're dressing up as a pirate with a third eye.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I had all those facts correct. That's
As a matter of fact, well, that was the theme. It was for a local radio station we listened to here in Sarasota, and they have a cruise every year about the time we got married. So we went on a 7-8 day cruise, and that was it. It was pirate.
Was it pirate all the time?
No, they change it.
No, it was. We had VIP parties, and they were all pirate themed.
There.
Yeah.
At that time.
You could do whatever you wanted to do at the party. It was pirate themed.
Okay.
I can remember wearing those costumes even not at the party, dear. Oh, sorry.
It's a pirate-themed honeymoon cruise.
Yeah.
Noted. Let's see again with the swag, man. Those blue with the green belt, man. You're just styling all the time, man.
He likes colors. He definitely likes weird, different. I mean, he likes obviously to stand out.
Around here, we definitely say that's the Punta Gorda look. Because in Punta Gorda, Florida, it has all the retired men. Or like in Venice, where a lot of the people that were on the jury were from. When you're
an old fart.
When you're an old guy like me, you don't care what you wear.
I do not believe that.
You love it.
I do not believe that for 1 second, sir. Because you can't care about what you wear, or you can't not care about what you wear and look this good.
I don't know. She likes it, so I love it.
Here's a nice one of you in a bright one by the beach. That's cute.
Is that what I can see the red tide in the background. Let me get here.
See what else we got here in this queue.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's everything. All right, then we're just back to court stuff. All right, cool. Very, very cool. I thought it was nice to show some of your side and show, as a matter of fact, you are just people, right? You're just people that just go in the world and just living your life and
Yeah.
just people.
It's like
We're not public enemy number one.
No.
we're either taking pictures of what we're eating for dinner. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're that kind of people, you know. Oh, look at that. And then we'll post, oh, eating at so-and-so, come and visit them. And if we're not doing that, we're going on a little vacation and taking pictures of food that we find when we're on vacation. We love to eat. In other words, in my family, everything happened around the dinner table. So to know me or us is to sit down and break bread or have dinner, you know, and that's where you have an hour and a half conversations and just, you know, and eat type thing. It's
What?
German, Hungarian type of thing.
I got to know what your favorite food is now. What is your favorite? You like to cook also. Are you a cook?
I do like to cook. Being that I was the youngest in the family, I was always there with my mother who cooked. My Aunt Mary, when we grew up in Hialeah, out of the first 4 houses, the first 3 houses on the block were all relatives, aunts and uncles. So we were always at somebody's house as kids eating or playing with cousins and stuff.
But he bakes very good. He is a baker more than anything.
I like to bake a lot, but my favorite food is, I'd have to say, beef rouladen and spatzel.
You have a good recipe for that?
Yes, from my mother, handed down, and it's kind of basic, but yeah, you just, you know, the onions, the pickle, the rough mustard, rolled up, and then tie up the steaks and cook them for a couple hours, and homemade spatzel from a strainer. You work it through with the spoon and drop it in the water, and that's great. That's probably one of my best. And then I love lasagna or stuffed cabbage.
Stuffed cabbage is solid.
I love that too. Yeah. But yeah, I grew up in chicken paprikash, chicken and paprika with, you know, love that too. So it's all good food. A loaf of White Mountain bread, and you slop up the gravy. And anyways.
But he can make homemade marshmallows, wedding cookies, all kinds of cookies.
Oh yeah,
he can spend the whole day in the kitchen.
And it's all learned from, you know, relatives growing up and stuff like that. Peanut brittle, I love too, to make that homemade as well. But I did teach my son some of that too, so hopefully he'll carry down some traditions for his kids when he has some.
That's really cool. That's really cool. That I do some cooking sometimes on my streams. Cooking with Uncivil. We made a nice beef Wellington during Christmas.
Yes,
Paul actually was watching.
I love beef Wellington. I tried it like 2 or 3 times. Haven't mastered it yet.
But it came out pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, it was perfect. The Bluetooth thermometer helped a lot, so you get the temperature exactly perfect. That's a good call. Yeah. That's a good call. Did you have any particular impressions of Sally Smith or Kathy Beatty as witnesses? Care to share?
With them, they seemed very, is it unanimated, or they were kind of just very by the book, very straight. I don't know. I guess all I can say is I wouldn't want to be on vacation and let them feed my fish. I'd have to take my goldfish with me.
Fair. A lot of people might also want to know what you think of thought of Dr. Cochran, and did the fact that he was testifying pro bono have any particular impact in your perception of him?
That he was pro bono a bit, not a lot, as much as nothing frazzled him. Witnesses on either side when questioned, could get frazzled. And then, which when you're crossed and recrossed and all, that's when you start hearing little differences and jotting those things down on our notes. Mr. Corcoran, I believe, he, no matter how many times you asked him something, it was, okay, yes, that's what I said. And no, he wasn't rude. He didn't get snarky. He wasn't condescending. He just said it as it was. If he didn't know what he was talking about, he sure faked it. In other words, as in, it was there. And it seemed like he did know what he was talking about, because he was saying things and bringing things up that neither side had brought up in their questioning. So, he was amazing how he was professional and unfrazzable by the other side type thing. That was impressive.
I'm also curious the degree to which, being a former law enforcement itself, how you perceive the police officers that had interacted with the Kowalski family. I was curious how you perceived how they went about their work. And I was also interested if you had any particular insights in their credibility, perhaps because, being former law enforcement yourself, you've seen a lot of law enforcement, imagine, various manifestations. I'm curious how your experience in that domain formed your perception of police officers who testified and interacted with the Kowalskis.
Okay. Well, the one I remember is the one that interviewed Jack at the hospital.
Yeah.
And there was a question about the taping and stuff. That was like a good cop, bad cop, but there was no good cop to play good cop. She, and I, in my career and in anything else, you've seen, that's not the kind of officer I was, put it that way. I was gather the information, find out what each side says, and document it. She, tell you, with that, she couldn't answer squarely and honestly, in my opinion, where the tape recorder was. And I know, there's certain times you don't have to display it, but she didn't come out and say, oh, I didn't have to. She made it sound like she did. It had to be out because of how clear the voice was. So to me, she was just playing the bad cop out of the good cop bad. She was just she wasn't as believable as I would have liked to think an officer was or would be, in these situations.
So you basically found her, to not be like neutral. You found her to be like hostile in her manner of questioning. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes.
And I'm also inferring that you didn't feel that level of hostility was based on circumstance.
No, not with what I was presented in the courtroom. It wasn't as, called for, at least in how I would have conducted myself.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of people's perception. And it was curious that it went about that way, because some of the things that she was saying could readily be viewed potentially as threats. I mean, there was a whole dispute on that issue, but with some characterization that making threats against people, which incidentally, just for legal education purposes, when it comes to criminal stuff, is something that the police actually can't do. The police can't threaten you with like, we're going to take away your children. That's a really good way to get the court's attention in a hurry. So the fact that she did that was disquieting to the lawyer in me, or perceived to have done that. And I'm also curious. I know I definitely don't want any particular details. I definitely don't want to know what anyone in particular said. I asked this question in a very general way. And if you don't want to answer it, I understand. But I was wondering if you could comment a little bit more about the general tenor of the deliberation. Were there, how was everyone basically on the same page? Was there uncertainty about some things? And if you don't want to answer at all, I understand. But we always want to peek behind the curtain a little bit.
Right. On that, I'll just say we were all able to come to an agreement as we reviewed the papers, the evidence, our notes, and the verdict shows it.
Fair enough.
And that's
fair enough. I mean, don't mind that. So in the aftermath of the trial, are you both doing okay? Because a lot of people out there, including myself, are just concerned for you, and we want to make sure that you're not being unduly impacted by the situation. So again, you don't have to comment it in any detail, but we just want to see. We hope that you're doing okay. And is that true?
Yeah, I mean, it's stressful.
It was still stressful. You don't know, because there are kooks out there that just might take it upon themselves to use information that was made public. And they're still going, Reddit. They're still like, oh Lord, just let it lie, people. So it is stressing, but we're doing okay. I mean, we look at it as we're enjoying our lives together. We find little pleasantries in ourselves and what we do. And we always consider ourselves blessed because there are so many people, even on these taking care of Maya groups and just out in general, you see it on the news, that have such real stressors, real problems or illnesses. And we thank God that we're content. We're, sure, we'd love to win the lotto, or sure, we'd like to have a room, or, in the house, or blah, blah, blah. But no, we don't want anything. We're not looking for anything. We are content and happy with being helping others. That's why we volunteer with a lot of stuff. So we're doing okay. This hasn't affected us to the point like we're becoming hermits or anything like that. Yeah. We, we're out there and, get things done, or just sit home and watch Seinfeld, or, old reruns, and say, oh, this is the one that they did. Oh, no, that's the one that he went there. And no, that's the one he dresses up. We love it like that, or watch an old movie on TV or something. So we're enjoying life still. It hasn't brought us down.
All right. Well, I wanted to keep this interview to about an hour, and we've been streaming for an hour 5. So I didn't want to unduly take any of too much of your time. But if you have any final remarks, or there's anything else in particular you want to talk about, I'm sure the audience would love to have from you. I'll see if there's been any super chat questions. Talking.
While you're looking, I just want to thank everybody that has been supportive, and that always helps, because I take things a little bit more seriously than he does. So I'm more stressed than he. Nothing bothers him, but I'm obviously more cognizant of what's out there. So your stream and many others have been very supportive, and I thank you as well, because it's always good to listen and not freak out as much.
Yeah, and same, now after signing up and becoming aware of the law tube circuit and everyone, Take Care of Maya and other things, and people have contacted us individually. Was very comforting to see that there were people having issues and that even thanked me for my jury service. And, it was all of us on the jury that deliberated, and even the 12 that didn't, because we're all kind of in this together. It's amazing that, and helped me after, especially like now with, what was it, yesterday or something, with the jury interview and stuff, that so many people were supporting us that it made me feel confident that there's, still good stuff happening in this planet, and not everyone is, I'll call them, sorry, but a Redditor type thing. There's decent people out there, and we love you for it. We really thank you, and always will.
Reddit tends to be a bit of a wasteland in general, so.
It's not all Reddit. There's actually pro plaintiff Reddit out there. It's not. It's just there's just some people that are just hateful and want to just bring everything they can on you, and bringing all our family history out, and some of it is painful. It's just not right. So to say that it's right, it's certainly not right.
No, I mean it really isn't. I mean, you were to quote 12 Angry Men, you were notified by mail to come to this court place and do your civic duty, and you answered a questionnaire. We've had many discussions about the questionnaire. We're put through a voir dire process in multiple stages. You heard the case and you deliberated, and I almost feel at those points, it's like, what do you want from me? Right? What do you want from me? I have those times sometimes when I'm on stream, sometimes I'm having to explain something they don't want. Right? I'm like, what do you want from me? I can't really do anything. It's like, but they won't be happy until you agree. I don't know if you have an answer to this or you've thought about it all, but do you have any thoughts about where the really virulent anti-Maya community is coming from? Do you have any thoughts about why they feel the way they do, or do you think they're just getting something wrong or missing something, or what do you think, if you have thought about it?
It still perplexes me, because if you listen to both sides, there is some sort of middle ground, but it seems like, these people who are so against it don't seem to have a real reason to be against or have that opinion. I don't understand yet what makes them so
it's just like
adamant.
So angry. They're just
like angry. Why don't it's like what's going on in a lot of stuff in society. People just are locked in and they're not talking and listening, and at least
you can
cohabitating.
Disagree. You can disagree, but just don't be hateful. That's all.
Yeah, seems like they're.
I don't have an issue with people disagreeing, but I'm also not going to go and dig up their past and just be hateful
and do hateful things. That's the thing.
That's a whole different. I don't understand that part.
Yeah, it does seem like somewhere along the way we've lost a lot of civility about things. Certainly in my streaming about these things, I've had positions where by talking it out with people have corrected my thinking and helped inform me about things. As I've said before, I think you could reasonably be critical of the amounts that the jury awarded. But it's like there's no need for hatred about it all. Like you did your job. It's like, what more do you want from me? Like I was called here to do a thing. I did the thing,
Right.
And they don't, and they're still at it. That's like, this is not ending. It's still out there. They're criticizing everything, and someone ran his driver's license. It's like, why? What is the deal here?
They're still digging.
They're still digging.
God knows why.
There's nothing to find. There's nothing to find.
But that's how angry they're just so angry. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand that part. I understand disagreeing because that's what makes the world go round. We if we all were the same, and it would be the most boring world. And that's why I like listening to all the law tubers. Everybody's different. Everybody has different opinions, and I like that. I don't want everybody to be the same.
But sometimes we disagree with each other, but we mostly keep it pretty civil, you know?
Yeah, but that's good. You can see different. I like to see different perspectives.
Yeah.
But I'm not hateful if someone says, "Oh my gosh," but these people are just, I don't know. I don't know what fuels it.
Too many tabs. Well, let's see. There was Matt Bond gave $2 to say I have CRPS and you made life easier for us all. So that was nice. Thank you for that super chat. And Tara Raynar gave 10 Canadian dollars to say I appreciate how well you've seen Take the Slings and Arrows. Problem with all of it is for me that J Hatch, with every frivolous motion, they harm this family, need to end it. God bless you. Very nice.
Thank you for that.
Southern Mom said, such a sweet couple. Have you considered starting a YouTube channel? Maybe Trial Watchers. Yeah, maybe there's a career in it for you somewhere. Someone wanted to know if it was specifically the Jones and Crane morning show cruise of 107.9.
Yes, it was.
They have a cruise every year, yes.
Someone said they had had a handwriting expert apparently read your notes.
I don't. Uh-oh.
And apparently, the handwriting expert apparently nailed you as saying you're a class clown that lives 1 minute at a time. It doesn't give a flying F about what people think. Yeah, maybe. That's pretty good.
If that's what he says, I'll just agree with it. But yeah.
Laura Lenny gave 279 Canadian, say you're a beautiful couple. So fun.
Thank you.
Low T gave $9.99 to say you are the best. You guys are the best. You guys are wonderful. You're just very friendly people. You know, very friendly people. I saw someone in chat say, well, are you willing to adopt an adult? I live in Florida. They love you so much. Beach Lover 64 for $4.99 said that they're a U.S. vet with CRPS since 2001 and wanted to send their deepest appreciation. Thank you for your service and professionalism. That's pretty nice. Yeah, the IJ report. The IJ report. Now that you've learned, I'm sure, about the IJ report, what do you think about all this? Because they never turned it over. They never turned it over.
Yeah, I think it was in a box. Supposedly they brought it in a box and then they packed it up and left. I think, isn't that?
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. Oh. Please don't die on us.
Thank you. Here. Oh. All right. I'm better now.
All right. Pokey SD gave $10.
Yeah, no, that IJ report, it's like, I'm waiting for it. Or, yeah, we're all waiting for it type thing.
Yeah.
But they're going to guard that till,
and the rumor has
the
it
living,
that
dying end.
The Baltimore also had an IJ report.
They did,
rumor.
as a matter of fact, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Not good.
No, it's not good. An IJ report is also what initially got Theranos taken down from Elizabeth Holmes, for those of you guys who remember that. They got an IJ report from CMS, a federal agency. Medicare, Medicaid Services, I forget what the C stands for. But one of the Theranos people ratted them out internally to CMS. They sent a person over there and initially shut them down for 6 because of an IJ. So that's how Theranos and Elizabeth Holmes' $9 billion fraud came to an end. So, yeah, exciting times.
I have a question for you. Sure. How did your Steamboat Willie thing come up? What happened?
The Steamboat Willie drama continues. Steamboat Willie drama continues. Now, I won my fight with YouTube. So they removed the community guidelines warning, and they undeleted the video. So that's good. So they did finally see the error of their ways. And after me first appealing and them saying no, my second appeal was like, yeah, you guys are clearly wrong. They withdrew. But then the next day, I think this was yesterday, or maybe the day before, time is a construct. Anyways, I tried again, and the content ID system is still flagging it as third-party content. And I'm like, no, it's not. Not third-party content. It was 5 days ago, but it's not now. So so it's like you guys need to
Oh, they
update.
probably haven't updated. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to update your system so I can do my 24/7 Steamboat Willie stream. So the drama continues. I still want to do my legal analysis, man, but I need this. I need the cartoon to be able to show the legal analysis because I need to be able to show the cartoon. I need to also be able to talk about the posters. I had a whole thing, right? I had a whole thing. I was going to show the cartoon. I was going to talk about Elwood versus Ashcroft, the U.S. Supreme Court that extended copyright terms 20 years ago. I was going to talk about the posters with the colorized drawings that are also out of copyright. So with Disney's all over here, like, you can't use the modern Mickey. I'm like, I think you can because of legal issues, but I didn't get to do my legal analysis. It was frustrating.
Okay. I was wondering.
I believe it was on today's news, just before coming on with you, on the Channel 13 Tampa News.
Mm-hmm.
Steamboat Willie was on there, and they were mentioning that it's no longer copyrighted or whatever it is, and someone's making a movie out of it.
Sure, there's already been like
it's an evil movie.
Yeah,
you know, they made a horror movie out of it.
They did one for Winnie the Pooh when it came out, copyright 2 years ago.
That was it.
For Winnie the Pooh.
Correct, and they gave that as an example.
Yeah.
And immediately I said, "Oh, wait a second, that's Kurt."
Yeah.
And your predicament.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's okay. I've only been an intellectual property lawyer for 15 years. What do I know?
Mm-hmm. Right, but
well, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yes, absolutely.
Pokey SD gave $10 to say Team Fiona and Fritz. I'm Hippo Lover too.
Yay.
And let's see. Megan Eston for $2 said, "Thank you for taking care of Maya, our hero." Hashtag. Matt Bond gave $5 Australian to say, "For the record, on the record, let the record show, spiffy hair, my dude. Who is your stylist?"
Himself.
Me, yeah.
He dresses himself. He styles himself.
Yeah. She dresses me.
Well, I do pick his clothes.
Can you teach me to have the same level of flair as you? Is that a learnable skill? Maybe.
Well, you got to get a little woman like this, because before her, I didn't dress like that.
Well, we're looking for a little woman. The search continues. Della Sandor gives $2 to say, "Proud of Kurt and his guests. Truth to power." The court order the court shirt is from Dillard's, so you can check that out. And I think that is the end of all the super chats. Let's Halster74 said, "I'm glad to see you retain such good sense of humor and humility. The chat loves you both." And
thank you.
Let's see if there's anything else. Don Leinhart said, "I went to high school in Port Charlotte. Used to listen to Jones and Crane every day on my drive in the late aughts. Always wanted to go on the cruise." Apparently it's a fun adventure.
So tell John that I went to Charlotte High School, and Port Charlotte High School was our rival.
Ooh, rivalry.
We were Tarpons, they were Pirates. So yeah.
Well, of course you're Pirates. You do the pirate thing.
No, we weren't the Pirates.
Oh, they're the
Port
Pirates.
Charlotte High School was, we were Tarpons, which is horrible. I mean, you're a fish.
They were a goldfish.
Yeah, like that's a terrible mascot. Everybody made fun of us. We were the Fighting Tarpons.
Aquamarine wants to know if you've watched any of LawTube's coverage of the trial. Were you so thrilled about the trial that you couldn't help to want to watch it again?
No, only little excerpts or something, but no, it's like I've never sat through more than 3 or 4 minutes of what is it, Bad Boys, those when I was a cop, I don't want to see more cop stuff. So here I've been there, so I haven't really watched the whole thing again. No.
I wouldn't blame you. Well, it's been an hour 20, so I'll let you guys go, but thanks again for your time. And if you ever want to reach out again just to talk, you know where to find me. It's really fun talking to you both. You're just both a lovely couple, and we really appreciate you both and your time.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Good night. Be careful out there.
All right. Goodbye for now. You can sign off. I can find you all.
Okay.
All right. Well, people, that brings us to the end of the interview. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time. We had a good time. They're lovely people, right? They're just lovely people. They're nice. They're friendly. They have many adventures together. They have many adventures together. They're just a fun people, man. What's not to love? How can you not love these people? They're great. They're great. And, you know, it's like, yeah, they're just doing their job. And he's a stylish guy with some flair. And he does his own tips. He does his own frosted tips. How can you not love that? All right, now I'll read the remainder of the super chats because I tried to read all the ones that were for them. Time Lady became an uncivilian for 99 cents. Pantry became an uncivilian for 99 cents. Axelatin gifted 10 gift memberships. Red became an uncivilian for 99 cents. We read Deller Santos, I think, but if not, proud of Kurt and his guest, Truth the Power, with 2 cowboy hats and 2 hearts. Thank you. Joshua Brasbun became an uncivilian for 99 cents. The Nama Boss became an uncivilian for 99 cents by hitting that beautiful join button. Thank you. Rebecca Moros became an uncivilian for 99 cents. Thank you very much. Nosy Rosie became an uncivilian by hitting that join button for a mere 99 cents a month. It's true. It is literally the least YouTube will let me charge you. And for a mere 99 cents a month, you too can help an uncivil keep his stream going. I know. It's fantastic. Tim Riggs gifted 20 gift memberships. Thank you. Jade gave $4.99 to say the two are adorable couple. Thank you for showing the defense what class he is. Preach on. Monica C gifted 10 gift memberships. Jade became an uncivilian for 99 cents by hitting that beautiful join button. Amanda E has been a member for 1 month. Rain Man YYC gifted 10 gift memberships. Matt Bond for $5 Australian asked, did Juror in fact have anything to do with the Steamboat Willie takedown, or was it Jules? We don't know. We don't know whether or not Juror's wife or Jules is the true power behind the Steamboat Willie takedown, but that would, of course, explain a lot. Win Bly gifted 5 gift memberships. Thank you very much for the gift memberships. We read Matt Bond's one about the handwriting expert. Thank you for that. Gwyn Bly gifted 5 gift memberships. Benjamin Gray became an uncivilian for 99 cents by hitting that beautiful, beautiful join button. Benjamin Gray then gifted 5 additional gift memberships. Gwen Bly gifted 10 gift memberships. Fiona W gifted 10 gift memberships. Robin Knoll has been a member for 5 months. Thank you for hitting that join button. Pamela Norris for $5 said, did you sit in the jury box after your interview as a Fox FU to the defense? Huge. Tim Riggs became an uncivilian by hitting that join button for a mere 99 cents a month. 99 cents a month, man. You can't even buy a cup of coffee for it. But you can support an uncivil. Hit the join button. Thank you. Robin Shushmarain has been a member for 5 months. Kim Young for $2 says, Maya's now promoting gold on TikTok. Thoughts? Take advantage of it while you can, Maya, is all the thoughts I have. Atticus became an uncivilian for 99 cents. Susie Q42 gifted 10 gift memberships. Atticus gifted 5 gift memberships. Dogmon gifted 10 gift membership. Mr. Wiz with an incredibly generous 50 gift memberships. That is a lot of gift memberships. $50, 50 gift memberships. What a deal. Actually, it's a little bit less than 50 gift memberships. It would be $49.50. Thereabouts. So hey, you get a price break, man. Karen Harris gave $4.99, says, anyone else on the jury planning to speak out, or are they happy to be silent? I don't know. I wasn't going to ask. Marvin CZ gave CZK $300 to say thank you for the wonderful interview. You are thoughtful. Thank you, Marvin CK. Dogmon gifted 10 gift memberships. Morgan 908 said, major shout out to your mods, Kurt. They worked extra hard on Troll Patrol and Extermination tonight. Thank you. Think all the anti-juror Reddit showed up. Yeah, well, you know, in the interest of trying to keep it balanced and trying not to have it just be a complete, Maya is great party. I did want to ask the question specifically about evidence for J Hatch, right? So that's why I asked the question, because they don't necessarily need to think J Hatch is completely the devil to rule for Maya. So that's one of the reasons I asked the question. What testimony or what evidence from J Hatch did you think was particularly helpful to them? What was particularly persuasive, right? What about what they had to say did you think was good? Because, we don't have to right? The facts are bad enough as they are, right? The facts are bad enough as they are. We don't need to like go out of our way to also make J Hatch just a complete mustache twirling villain in the whole thing. It's not wrong to acknowledge that J Hatch did things right along the way too. It's not wrong to acknowledge that some of their staff did right things and even did right by Maya. And some nurses actually care, right? That's fine. And it's just like, so there's things that it doesn't necessarily have to be just all J Hatch is bad all the time. But yeah, I mean, maybe the anti-Maya community is here, but it's like, well, I wanted to make sure to ask. It's like, what did you think that was good for them? And we got some good questions, got some good answers. So, you know, it's like we try to look at this in a balanced way, you know, as best as we can. I don't have any favorites in this. Fundamentally, I don't have any favorites. I just want to try to get to the legally correct result as best often as I can. It's like, I don't have any favorites, right? Don Lionheart said, for $5, I went to the high school in Port Charlotte. We read that one. Just Sarah for 4.9 said, thank you for a wonderful interview. Kurt, you did a great job. Thanks, P and Y, for your inspiring attitude and kindness. What a wonderful discussion. I thought it turned out really well. Chris for $10 said, if the government allows false accusation abusers, will always be legalized, inhumane, false abusers. Harassment on whistleblowers legalized. That's not a completely invalid point. How we balance these things are often. My cat, his name is something. I can't quite read the whole name. My cat's name is K.A. something. Or Karen. My cat's name is Karen. For $5. Thank you, juror number 1 and wife, and no Kurt. This was awesome. Love from Pensacola. Leezy CA, give their first super chat ever, said, for $5, got my summons this week. Said no thanks. Until I saw you march in there, speak the truth, and sit down to watch you do the proper thing happen. Do right. You know, as they say, all that we need for evil to triumph is for good people to do. So, be brave. Rocky Top Girl says, did they consider your offer to represent him? I can tell you that we had text communication in the run up to it where I made my offer apparent. So I know that they were aware of it because I brought it to their, but I didn't want to ask the question publicly because I didn't want to go into decision making. I don't care. I really don't care. Right? I don't know whether the attorney they had was charging them or not. I don't care. And I also don't care, incidentally, that they decided not to invoke privilege at the end. I don't care. Right? I mean, they're the client. I don't care. The only thing that I really care about is that they had good legal representation, good independent legal representation, and got good independent legal advice. That's really all I care about. I'm a very happy camper. So, you know, they made the decision they did for whatever reason. I don't care. It's fine by me. No, I was just trying to offer to help if I could, but they found help somewhere else, and I'm glad they got help. That's really all you really want, right? Navy, excuse me. Nancy Mammy de May for $4.99 said, I lived in Cape Corporal. Unofficial right about the old people. Eagle Talon said, for been a member for 7 months, say, keep it up. I hope you can continue more and never give up hope. Aunt Candy gifted 5 gift memberships. Cindy Warnall became an uncivilian by hitting the join button. Have you considered hitting the join button? It's sitting right there. There are 2,400 people of you out there. I am not beyond asking the 2,400 of you that are there to hit the join button. If all of you did it, that would be $2,400. That would not be unappreciated. You know, it would allow me to like travel to places in person and you know, do more things. I'm not beyond asking. It's literally 99 cents a month. I literally can't make it any cheaper. Less than like a third of the price of a cup of coffee, right? How can you even buy a cup of coffee for $3 these days? I don't even know. So for less than a third of the price of a cup of coffee, you can support Unzilla for an entire month. What a deal, man. What a deal. Thank you for hitting the join button. Angie Torrens gifted 10 Canadian dollars. Say, great stream, Kurt. Thank you. PC has been a member for 1 month. Mystic, and also you get your name written off. You get your name read off, like at the end of the streams, right? So when your things come due, when your things come due, you get oral recognition from me to show you my appreciation. So, you know, yeah. Mystic Mama has been a member for 1 month. Susan Schaefer for $5 said, did we ever find out if juror number one's cologne preference? We did. We did, because she told me. And I will quote it to you verbatim. She said, hold on. Also, gave me a close-up of the tattoo. This will be a little awkward. Look at that tattoo glory. The the 6 represents the 6 years into their marriage. And the one without the date is the wife's. And the one with the date is the husband's. That is just glorious. Look at that hippo glory, man. That's some badass stuff right there. Let's see. She said, quote, when I asked what kind of cologne he liked, she said, quote, ocean blue types cologne. Oh yeah. We were definitely in the right domain. Oh yeah, we had it good, man. Knitting Attic for 99 cents became an uncivilian by hitting the join button. Christina Rain has been a member for 28 months, and the Nana Boss gave $4.99 to say thank you, Kurt. You always make my day. Long live Steamboat Willie with a mouse and 2 orange hearts. Well, that's fun. We had a great stream. So, are there any closing thoughts before I wrap this thing up that are related to the stream? Some of you guys were giving me a really hard time on the audio thing, man. I don't know. I don't know if it was just too low or too high. I mean, oh man, getting the audio right sometimes is so tricky. I don't know. Do I need more gain? Maybe I need more gain. Getting the audio levels is so tricky. Test 1, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law, where we learn. So what I want to talk about to you today is, yeah, getting the audio levels right is a tricky bitch. Lord. Show us my backdrop. It's just my kitchen. You've seen my kitchen. Is there a motion for remitterer? Sure. It sounded okay. I'm glad. Yeah, some people were saying it was too quiet, too soft on stream. But it's like, do I need more gain? I don't know, man. I kept having to reduce their volume. Because people said I was too soft. And I was like already maxed out. You know, on my volume. And all I can do more is increase the gain. I buy a bottle of water and a croissant for about $3.50 each day. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, you know? This is what I'm talking about. Audio was perfect? Thanks. You haven't seen my kitchen? This is my kitchen. There is my microwave. There is my sink. There is my refrigerator. There are my cabinets. You have now seen my kitchen. You were quieter than them. God damn it. God damn it. You try so hard to get the audio level right, and you still fuck it up. You try so hard to get the audio levels right, and you still fuck it up. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to. I need more gain. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law. Why is the gain so low? Hello? Oh, it's limited. Where's the limit at? -7. It's at -7. What? Oh, why is it not going up to -7? Why is the limiter where it is? I'm very confused. Hello, everyone. Welcome to. Why is the limiter where it is? Um. Reverb, Northgate, mouth click. Hello. Yeah, I can peek out the audio, but it's not showing up in OBS. I can clip the audio and the mic, but it's not showing up in OBS. What am I doing wrong? Delete this. I want to delete it. I want to keep it. No. Select this. Delete. Yes. Delete. Yeah. Hello. Why is my... Oh my God. Hello. Why is OBS limiting my audio down? Check one. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Do I want to remove limiter? Yes. Check 1, 2. What the fuck is going on in OBS? Hello, everyone. What the fuck is going on in OBS right now? Why is the audio... Why is the audio stopping at -15? Why is it not going higher than -15? What problem is it going on now? Fuck is going on? The reverb, noise room reduction. Oh. Denoise. Voice denoise. This is supposed to be voice denoise. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Open plug interface. Hello. Okay. De-reverb. Why is OBS not transmitting higher than -15? This is why you were so soft, because it's artificially limiting me, and I don't know why. Properties, is it advanced audio properties in there somewhere? SM7B, 300 millisecond delay. That all looks right. There's no volume modification inside there. What the fuck is going on right now? Well, what if I just delete every filter? Or just remove them one at a time? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uncivil Law. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uncivil Law. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uncivil Law. Hello, everyone. It's not fixing it. I've now removed literally every single filter from the SM7B, and it's still not allowing me to go past -15. Fucking bullshit. Hello. I mean, I can get the mic to clip. I can get the mic to clip, but it's not showing up in OBS. What the hell is going on? There are no filters left. There shouldn't be any filters in place. There's nothing in settings. Everything looks fine. I can't figure it out. I can't solve the problem. Unplug my mic and turn it back on. Okay. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. That didn't solve the problem. What the fuck is going on right now? OBS is supposed to give me more control. It's giving me less. No wonder you guys thought I was so quiet. No wonder you guys thought I was so quiet. I was being artificially limited by OBS. What the fuck is going on right now? If this turns out to be the solution, I'm going to be really mad. If this turns out to be the solution, I'm going to be really upset. Audio configuration error. Go to audio settings. What the fuck? Hello? Hello? What? What? Hello? Hello? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hello? 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 I can't fix it. Hello? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uncivil. What the fuck is going on? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uncivil Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. As always, God damn it. No, the sound is not okay. It is not okay. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. I can't fix the problem. All right, I can't fix the problem. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to reboot my computer and see if I can figure out what's going on. I can't figure out what the fuck is going on. I've been on Civil Law. Until later, my friends. I hope all's well. Cheers, my friends.